And we are set to get started here for the second half of this Women's Australian Gridiron League match between the New South Wales Coyotes at home hosting the Queensland Sun Devils. And the Sun Devils 22 points to the good at halftime, and they will receive the kickoff. Well taken off the ground. She's going to run straight into a group of Coyotes defenders looking to come out physical and looking to change plenty about their play. After the first half, they were unable to score, and the Queensland Sun Devils were able to gain plenty of offensive production at will here. And they'll be looking to change that to keep their finals hopes alive here. However, it's definitely no easy task to contain this Suns Devils defense, especially after the half that Chrissy Moran and Jodie Cole had in the backfield. And Denise Pepe didn't have to do a lot. She might opt to do more here. Spread set for the first play of the second half. Toss outside. Chrissy Moran cuts back. Cuts again. Shows that speed to get to the outside. And does very well. And looked like that could be a first down. And already the Coyotes on the back foot, and that shows you exactly how dangerous Moran is. Good lateral quickness, and she reads the play well. Got good blocking on the outside from her receivers as well. That can't be understated. There is a flag on the play, however.
Holding on the offense, number 4. Be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
And that run will be negated because there is a holding call on the Queensland Sun Devils now. That's going to push them back a few yards. And not off to the best start here. The Coyotes will be looking to shut them down here on a first down and long situation. Two wide receivers to the right-hand side of Pepe. She's got Moran in the backfield. Handoff. Gets to the outside, through the gap and shows her speed. Past one, there's a flag down on the play. But she did extremely well to be able to pierce the gap. Once again, good blocking from the wide receivers. However, if this is another flag on the Sun Devils, it will negate not one but two of Moran's good runs to start off the second half. Wait to see what the call is here from the umpire.
Holding. Offense, number 4, 10-yard penalty, first down.
And it'll be another holding call. And back go the Sun Devils again here. Not making it easy for themselves to start off here. And in terms of penalties, it shows that if you continue to show ill discipline, it's going to cost you in the long run. Almost cost their male counterparts a week ago in Perth. They just crawled over the line, but they conceded 167 penalty yards. Hopefully the women's team doesn't emulate that. First down and extremely long now here. Pepe under center. Hand off. Moran again gets space to move. Cuts back on the inside. And third time lucky for Moran. No flags on the play that I can see anyway. And she is going to negate a lot of the yards taken away from penalties and get it back to a second down and manageable situation for the Sun Devils. And the Coyotes really need to make sure that they can get a 3-and-out situation, though it has been dragged out a bit because of the penalties. So now second down and 10 now. Two wide receivers either side and the spread set. Moran in the backfield. And there's going to be some movement on the outside. Lauren Evans jumping early, the wide receiver.
False start. Number 7 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And once again, penalties is going to push them back. Already 3 penalties against them in the first half alone. We've had 1 legitimate play so far. And the Sun Devils come out a little bit sloppy so far. Coyotes need to take advantage of this and get the stop, especially while the Sun Devils are back around their own 20-yard line. Spread set again. Drops back, quick pass to the outside. This time hits Lauren Evans. She gets tackled in the backfield. And there's going to be a few good yards gained there. And Evans proving a threat there on the outside. She proves she has the height. And will be difficult to bring down, especially that sort of vertical ability makes those sorts of wide receivers very, very hard to contain. Especially if you can get it to them on those quick flat routes, those quick checkdowns. Makes it very difficult to stop. It's now 3rd down and 8. One receiver either side. Looking at the I formation. Toss to the outside. Moran has it. Cuts back. Tripped up in the backfield. Terrific work there. Clark making the tackle. And the Sun Devils could be forced to punt here on their first drive. Moran has not got up yet. That's not good news for the Sun Devils. However, it doesn't look to be too serious. She should be good, and umpire's going to jump in here.
Queensland.
Timeout.
It's the first time
for
out.
the Queensland Sun Devils. And they've gotten off to a very sluggish start. 3 penalties, and will now face 4th down and 7 when we return shortly.
Time? 9:04. Because we've got them trying to get one for free, essentially, so we'll just give them one. Yep. Yeah. No, I had the... Yeah, that's why I let it go, because I thought it was past the ball. Yeah.
So following the timeout now, it's 4th down and 7. And they are going for it. The Coyotes need one more stop. Oh, no, they're not. They're going to punt it away. Probably the smarter move in that position. The punt goes end over end, and that's going to favour the Sun Devils. Gets good field position and pushes that round. And the bench shouting at her to pick it up. She eventually does. Doesn't matter in the end, however. And they just before the 30 when the Coyotes will start their second half here with a fresh drive. We're hopefully to get something on the board here. We're able to produce a few good plays in the first half, but the Sun Devils defense has held firm and forced some turnovers. And their secondary has been fantastic so far. Morley hands it off. Tahu making a great run through the inside, but she is met solidly. The Sun Devils defense all over that run there. And even though the hole opened up, the linebackers were certainly not going to miss out on their opportunity to push Tahu back. And it looks as if there's going to be no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10. Sun Devils defense has been impressive so far. They're getting good penetration on the line. And like I mentioned earlier, their secondary has been terrific against the pass. I formation, one receiver out to the left-hand side. They spotted some movement on the line. Umpires jump in to interfere.
False start on the offense, number 59. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And now it's the Coyotes giving up penalties to start their drive. That moves them back to 2nd down and 15. And especially the Coyotes cannot afford to give away penalties like that at this stage of the game. With these first drives of the half, it's important to establish momentum or at least get some offensive possessions going. And 2nd and 15 certainly doesn't help them. Morley under centre. Queensland looking to blitz. Tahu up the inside, and she is going nowhere. Queensland defence all over the running game at the moment. Tahu not getting a lot of help. And now it is going to be 3rd down and long. Same formation as before. Looking to get those backs to get some penetration. Morley drops back instead. She runs into her own halfback. Does well to stay afloat. Tries to pierce the line and does. Eventually brought down. And it seemed as if Morley was rushed in the pocket, had receivers open. She was just unable to get enough time to find them. That's good defensive pressure again from the Sun Devils. However, Morley did a terrific job to stay on her feet after Tahu got in her way trying to block for her. Yet the Sun Devils will force another turnover on downs. And the Coyotes will be forced to punt. Waits a second, the punt. It's a flag. It's going to come off the Queensland, but a dives on it well to make sure that's not going anywhere. Looks like it's going to be roughing the kick out.
Holding on the offense, number 34. That penalty is declined. 1st down, Queensland.
Well, it's going to be a holding call, and it's going to be declined, and so it gives Queensland very good position when they come out here. The punt wasn't a good one. And although there were some nervous moments underneath it from Isetta Ripanya, she's able to dive on it, and now on the edge of their red zone, they're ready to start again. First down and 10 now. 2 backs in the backfield for the Sun Devils. Toss play to the outside. Moran is dangerous when she has room to move. Tries to cut back to the inside. The Coyotes over this play, however. And that is what they need to do here in that second half. Contain the run to the outside, because Moran has slaughtered them when she's been able to get outside the numbers. She's shown incredible pace and has blitzed the Coyotes. But on that play, did very well to force her to cut back to the inside where a majority of the defenders are. And as a result, they hold her to just a 4-yard gain. It's now 2nd down and 6, 2nd down and 7 potentially. 2 backs in the backfield, 2 receivers to the left-hand side. Hand up the middle, through traffic. Manages to get into the second line, but doesn't get much further than that. We'll get 3 or 4 yards on the play, and that will bring up a 3rd down and short situation here, deep into Coyotes territory here for the Sun Devils. Already hold a convincing 22-0 lead here in the 3rd. And they would love to add to that to give themselves more of a cushion. 2 wide receivers on either side. It's a spread set. Moran in the backfield. Moving on motion, toss to the outside. Moran's got space to move. Good blocking, she's in, touchdown. And that is number 3 for Moran in the backfield.
Touchdown,
Gets good blocking
Queensland.
on the outside again from her receiver, especially Ella Tuvey on the outside. And the Sun Devils continue to extend their lead. It's now 28-0. And Moran fast approaching, equaling her 4 touchdowns from her first game against the Monarchs. And she's still got a 1/4 to do it. And they've looked very convincing on the ground. The Coyotes definitely showing they have a weakness against the run. Coyotes need to fix that up quick. Two wide receivers either side. Pepe back in the shotgun. Sits, looks to receive it herself. Tosses out to Moran. She gets the outside, and she's in again. And it's now 30-0.
Point after is good.
And the Coyotes are having a lot of trouble being able to stop her once she gets outside the numbers. And she continues to destroy the defense. And the Coyotes are going to need some sort of an amazing comeback here if they're going to come back into this one. It's 30-0 here on Ascension Sports. I'm Chris Guscott here. Special thanks to the Hurstville City Council and for Hostworks for helping us out here with the stream. It's been an entertaining game so far. No shortage of entertaining plays. But so far it has been all Sun Devils. And they're making sure everybody knows they're going to be the team to beat for the women's AGL final. Still plenty of time left in this one. What can the Coyotes muster up here? Marissa Hayes to kick off. The kickoff spirals. Clay takes it. Hands it off. Cut back to the inside. Stays up after one tackle. Amy Henry's tackle enough to bring down number 22, Brianna Malley. And that is going to bring up a fresh set of downs now for the Coyotes. Desperately needing a score now here in the third to keep themselves in this one. The Sun Devils defense has been nothing short of impressive so far. And as this game wears on, you feel as if the line will start to get tired. This match could open up one way or the other. Morley lining up under Sever. Receiver either side. Tahu in the backfield protecting. Morley has time in the pocket. Throws to the outside. And it goes through the hands of Mully. Had two bites of the cherry. Unfortunately couldn't hang on to it. A good throw from Morley on the outside. And the Sun Devils dodge a bullet there. That would have been a first down on the first play of the new drive. Morley straight under center, looking for the quick snap. Has time again. Throws to that side again, and this time she's got it. And she's in the open. Does well to shrug one tackle. Stays alive and is eventually brought down. Storm Brook with the tackle in the secondary, but terrific work this time. Brianna Malley making a great play to avenge her wrongs from the last play. And she is going to take them all the way down the field. And now they're going to be on the edge of their red zone with one of their best opportunities to score yet. And it looks like Morley's starting to heat up in the pocket. Umpires blow the play dead.
Timeout, Queensland.
And
Second
Queensland
timeout.
following those two consecutive pass plays, which could have been big. One of them was. They're going to call a timeout to regroup here. And the Coyotes on the edge of their red zone looking for their first score here in the third quarter.
Five left in the quarter.
So now following the timeout. First down and 10 here. Morley wasting no time to get under center. And there's going to be plenty of flags on the plate. When you set up quickly like that, it puts the defense under pressure. They tend to react.
Offside, defense with contact, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And as a result, offside on at the defense. It gives the Coyotes an extra 5 yards. And right now it seems as if the Sun Devils defense just reeling a bit. Look to see how they come back from this one, or is it going to be the Coyotes adding their first score? Tahu in the backfield again got a jump. And again they're going to blow the play dead. Looks like this one might be coming back the other way, however. Have to wait to see what the umpires come up with here.
False start on the offense, number 17, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And the last penalty is just wiped off because there's now a 5-yard penalty on the Coyotes. And so now we're back to where we started, first down and 10. Same formation, one receiver either side. Tahu in the backfield, Morley under center. Queensland looking to stack the box. Morley sits back in the pocket, throws to the outside. Well taken. And under a lot of pressure. That was good coverage from the corner. But a good, precise throw. And Yvette Leisha making a terrific catch on the outside. And the Coyotes continue to move down the field. The most threatening drive yet, and that'll be a first down. However, not a first down and goal situation just yet. In a way, you'd almost prefer that. Morley tosses to the outside. Tahu gets to the outside. Terrific work. And that is brilliant work there from the Sun Devils. Just when it looked like Tahu might get to the outside, get outside the numbers and run in for the touchdown, they did a terrific job to contain her. And it's those open field tackles like we continue to talk about. They really make the difference on a defense. And instead of that being a touchdown, it's now second down and 11 here for the Coyotes. Choosing to keep their formation the same. And there's more flags.
False start on the offense, number 22, 5-yard penalty, second down.
And another penalty on the Coyotes. And it seems as if both these teams starting to lose a bit of discipline as the match wears on, and the Coyotes certainly cannot afford to have this, especially since they are yet to score at the moment. This is their best chance of the game, and 5-yard penalties certainly do not help them. Morley under center. Drops back. Under pressure, throws. And a good hit there. Put the pressure on. And when quarterbacks do not have solid time in the pocket to make the passes, you can guarantee that they're not going to be able to perform to their maximum efficiency. And the Sun Devils have done a very good job of pressuring Morley so far. The couple of passes that Morley's made that have been effective, Morley has had time in the pocket, so she's going to need the offensive line here to help her out. But that is easier said than done, considering what Queensland is bringing at the moment in terms of pass rush. Third down and long. Morley tosses this into the corner, just out of reach. Bojana Malley, she's been the preferred target for Morley all game and all campaign. And that one just too far for her to take. And that brings up fourth down and long. Last chance for the Coyotes to score here on this drive. Sun Devils needing one more stop Morley. He's going to hand it off down the middle. And there's not going to be enough yards there. And that will be it for the Coyotes' drive. The Sun Devils' offense will come back onto the field. And the Coyotes so close but yet so far away. And they are still yet to score here in the Queensland Sun Devils. 30 points to the good here in the third quarter here on Ascension Sports. Special thanks to Hertzville City Council and for Hostworks for assisting us here on the live stream. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're enjoying this game as much as we are here. Queensland to start a new drive. Handoff down the middle, and this time she's going nowhere. Terrific penetration from the Coyotes. And so far today, you could say the Sun Devils have been well on top in terms of their running. That's a good play against the runner momentum there. And that's going to push them back a yard. It's now 2nd down and 11 here for the Sun Devils. This is not a comfortable position to be in if you're an offense. Two backs in the backfield for the Sun Devils. Toss play to the outside, and she's hit already, but stays on her feet. And here she goes, showing terrific pace down the sidelines, and a big hit from Candice Clay. Candice Clay has been rock solid in that Coyotes defense all campaign, but she came across to clean up the mess as she got into the secondary. Terrific run there from Jodie Carl, shrugging off the arm tackle and opening up plenty of green grass in front of it. And that'll be a first down, and that will be the end of the third quarter. The Queensland Sun Devils 30 points to the good here with a quarter to play, and they look like they're on their way to hosting the first ever women's AGL final. And when we come back shortly, it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Sun Devils as we start the fourth. Welcome back here to the fourth quarter here on Ascension Sports TV. I'm Chris Guscott, 1st down and 10. Toss play to the outside. Moran cuts back nicely, and again, and she's in the clear. Good leg tackle there, but only after the damage was done. Moran showing terrific agility and anticipation, and she is able to easily get the first down, like she's done so many times in this campaign so far. And the Sun Devils continuing to roll on here. 30-0 the score here at the start of the fourth. And the Sun Devils have really shown their class at the moment. Two wide receivers either side here. Split set. Moran in the backfield. She's been dangerous. Pepe under center. Toss play to the outside. Moran fakes the handoff, and she's gone. Candice Clay waiting for her. Moran cuts her inside, shrugs her off. And she is in. Touchdown number 4. And Christy Moran making it look very easy.
Queensland.
Faking the end-around handoff, which has gotten them a good amount of yards in the first half. And she's able to take it herself. Candice Clay waiting in the back in the secondary. Christy Moran, too quick, too elusive. And the Sun Devils are well on their way. It's 36-0. Christy Moran having 169 rushing yards on the day so far. She is having a day to remember. 4 touchdowns today to add to the 4 that she's had against ACT in round 1. Unbelievable performance by her so far. 2-point conversion. Handoff straight down the middle to the fullback. She's still standing up, but she's met solidly. She's going nowhere. And Netta Luano is unable to get in. But at the moment, it doesn't really seem to matter. It's a 36-0 advantage for the Queensland Sun Devils.
10:41 left in the game. 10-4-1.
So following Christy Moran's 4th touchdown of the day, the kickoff. It's a flat and it's a wobbler. Those are hard to take. She's able to pick it up cleanly, tries to pierce through the gap to no avail, and now the Coyotes will come back onto the field. Their last possession got into their red zone. Unfortunately, it was penalties that killed them, pushed them back. And now they're going to have to start all over again and right back near their 25-yard line. Definitely has not been easy going, but Morley's arm's starting to warm up. She's looking accurate. But this Queensland secondary has been brilliant today, and their linebacking and their defensive linebacker core have done extremely well to contain the run so far. Morley under center, drops back, throws it deep. It's going to fall short. It's intercepted. And Shani Rose jumping in front of the pass on the route. And the Sun Devils cannot put a foot wrong at the moment. Looked like Morley was rushed in the pocket. Didn't have as much time as she thought. Didn't have time to set herself, and the pass will fall short of her target. Good anticipation from the corner, however, to jump in front of it. And now the Sun Devils, seemingly moments ago after adding another touchdown, are back on the field. One receiver either side. I formation. Hand up off the middle. She's going nowhere. Cody's doing a good job at blocking the inside run and being able to contain that, but it's when the ball gets on the outside, on pitch plays, on toss plays, it's really proving difficult because the tailback group from the Queensland Sun Devils have been explosive today, in particular Christy Moran, who we knew was dangerous, has come out and replicated her first round performance. She has 4 touchdowns to her name, looking to add to that. Plenty of time left here. Toss play to the outside. Moran cuts back, going to the other side of the field. And Clark brings her down. Moran has done that well today. She's been able to cut back a few times when she doesn't like what she sees on one side of the field. Is able to use her pace to get to the other side. And that's going to be 3rd down and short coming up here for the Sun Devils. Split set, 2 wide receivers either side. Jodie Carl in the backfield. Pepe toss to the left-hand side. Jodie Carl's got room to move. There's flags everywhere on the field. Carl cuts back, shrugs a tackle. Eventually brought down. But of course, the umpires are going to intervene.
Holding Queensland. Number 4, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Third down.
It is coming back, however, holding on Queensland at the moment. And Queensland has been a little sloppy in this second half, although it hasn't cost them on the scoreboard. Ill discipline could cost them in a final when they take on the Monarchs again in the final if this result stays true. Looks like it's going to be both Queensland teams in the Australian Gridiron League finals. If you didn't hear the result from earlier, New South Wales Wolfpack 52, SA Sharks 6, which means the Wolfpack are in the finals to play the men's Sun Devils up in Queensland. Split backs here. Pepe sits back. She has plenty of time to look downfield. Pump fakes. Flushes herself outside the pocket. And now she's got room to run. She'll get to the outside. And the Sun Devils showing they have a lot of ways to get the yards. Pepe hasn't had to have a big impact in this match for the Queensland Sun Devils to dominate. Her running back group has done pretty much all the work for her. She's just had to hand it off. Danielle de Groot knows the story after the Monarchs game against the Coyotes when de Groot passed just once. Mind you, she went 1 from 1 and got a touchdown on that one pass, so she should be looking to pass more often with those sort of stats. And now it's a fresh set of downs for the Sun Devils. I formation. Jodie Carl lining up at the halfback position. Pepe chooses to keep it herself. Has a lot of room to move. Tucks the shoulder. Barges her way through. Looks like she's going to fall short. But good recognition again, and she's starting to take the offense into her own hands here. Looks as if Christy Moran's been given a break for now. But just as we say that, she comes back onto the field.
Timeout, New South Wales.
And then she'll come back off the field because the Coyotes call a timeout here in the fourth. It is 30-0 here. Well, sorry, 36-0, my apologies, here in the fourth, here on Ascension Sports TV. Thank you very much for tuning in to us all day. As I mentioned before, the first game of the doubleheader, the Wolfpack convincingly won that one. They'll now meet the Sun Devils in the final of the men's competition, May 10th, up in Queensland. And if this result continues on the way that it is going, it looks as if it will be the Queensland Sun Devils women's team up against the ACT Monarchs women's team in the final of the women's AGL competition on May 10th up in Queensland. So, an all-Queensland affair. We're looking forward to covering it here on Ascension Sports. Special thanks to the Hurstville City Council. Done a terrific job to put together this oval. It's a beautiful ground and a great turnout here in Sydney. They watch their home team get the win in the men's tie. And they're currently watching their home women's team go down here at the moment. And the Coyotes are going to need to put together a good defensive stop. Have been good in their last few possessions in the red zone. Christy Moran back on the field, though. That's not good news for the Coyotes. Pepe under center. Fakes a handoff. Pepe throws into the end zone. Touchdown. And Rosalinda Shelton wide open takes the nice catch. There's another touchdown for the Sun Devils, and they begin to rack on the points here. It's now 42-0 here in the fourth. And when a defense becomes so accustomed to trying to shut down the run, those play-action fakes really open up the secondary. And Shelton wide open to take the easy catch. And like we said before, Pepe hasn't really been required to do a lot in this one, but when she's been needed, she's performed well. Four wide receivers here for the two-point conversion. Tosses to the outside. Moran looking to get outside the numbers. And she'll get pushed out of bounds short of the goal line. So the score will stay at 42-0. Here halfway through the fourth quarter of this Women's Australian Gridiron League match here on Ascension Sports.
5-6 left in the game.
Now, following another Sun Devils touchdown, we are set to get underway again. Good kickoff is deep. Now they're tough to receive. Malley does well, though, hands it off. And now she's going to get some moving down the inside, but the Sun Devils are there again. Stormbrook with the tackle. Ashley Ravane taking that one back for the Coyotes. And now they're going to get started again here. Small conference in the middle of the ground here.
Legal substitution prior to the kick, New South Wales, number 58. That penalty is declined. First down, New South Wales.
So the penalty on the Coyotes is declined. And now the Coyotes will be looking to add to their blank account. They've threatened to do so a couple of times. Their last possession ending in an interception to Shani Rose. Corinda Moodley lining up in the backfield for the Coyotes. One receiver either side. Queensland lining up three on the line. Spreading out though, Morley in the pocket, long throw, and just overcooks her preferred target. Boyana Malley once again getting open, and Morley just unable to hit the target. Goes over her head, and it's going to bring up second down and 10 now for the Coyotes. Second down and 10. Morley under center. Hands it off in the backfield. Moodley does well to spin out a one, but she's not going to get away from the 4 or 5 that come to tackle her afterwards. And that's been the story all day, especially on the ground attack for the Coyotes. You can shrug off one, but the rest of the defense is coming. And they've done a terrific job to penetrate the line and being able to get into the backfield to make sure that the Coyotes are unable to have any sort of gap or any sort of seam to work with. And that's going to set up a third down and long situation. One receiver either side again. Queensland looking to bring the blitz. Morley throws it over the top. And it's going to be no good. Tahu was open, but the pass is to the wrong side of her shoulder. And that is going to bring up fourth down and long for the Coyotes. And not in a good position. They might be forced to punt here. Fourth down now. Long snap is good, and the punt is up in the air. Punt return caught. Well, good tackle in the backfield, however. Making sure she didn't get any more yards than they were prepared to give up. Yvette Leisha with a good tackle there on number 15, Trisha Cameron. And now the Sun Devils will come back onto the field. They are 42 points up here in the fourth, and to be nothing short of dominant. Certainly showing that they are definitely going to be the favourites heading into the final in a few weeks' time on their home patch.
Four minutes left in the game. 4 minutes.
First down and 10 now. I formation. Hand off. She's able to dart through the middle, but the Coyotes have been good today. When the run has come up the middle, they've been able to shut it down quickly. And Christy Moran can only get a few yards on the run, and she's only a few yards shy of 200. She has had a tremendous game today. Second down and 5 now. Same formation. Toss play to the left-hand side. Moran cuts back. Cuts again. Gets away from a tackle, but eventually brought down. And Moran can work her magic, but not when there's 10 Coyotes around on the scene. And that'll bring up third down and a medium to medium sort of short situation. Leaves the playbook open here for the Sun Devils. Two backs in the backfield again for third down and 4. Handoff off the middle. She's doing well here to negotiate the line and was patient and waited until the gap came to her. And Jodie Carl able to get some valuable yards, and that'll be enough for the first down. That's a real understated quality of a lot of good running backs who are able to be patient, especially when everything seems to be collapsing on them. It's the one who can wait
2 minutes left in the game
and make sure that the line can do their work before they start to attack. And that'll bring up the 2-minute warning. So the Queensland Sun Devils might look to run this one out, or they could attack for one last score. We certainly saw that the Wolfpack in their earlier games certainly didn't let up at this stage of the game. Let's see what the women do. Pepe drops back, throws down the middle, and that is just going to be through the fingers. Number 7, Lauren Evans, down the middle. It was a good throw, especially in the tight window. It's always risky passing through the middle of the defense. Unfortunately, she's unable to hold on, and that's now going to bring up second down and 10 for the Sun Devils, and that will stop the clock, so it looks as if they're going to continue attacking. Always good to keep the game interesting, even in these late stages of these games. 4 wide receivers outside now. Carl is in the backfield next to Pepe in the shotgun. She's going to run it immediately, takes the gap down the middle, barges through one of the defenders, and eventually brought down. And especially in this fourth quarter, she has been unafraid to take the ball herself.
Timeout, Queensland. It's her final timeout.
And Queensland's certainly showing that they are not going to let up. They call their final timeout to stop the clock here. We'll be back shortly here with the fresh set of downs inside the red zone for the Sun Devils. Following Queensland's final timeout here. About a minute and a half left to play. First down and 10 here in Queensland. Certainly showing no signs of icing the clock. They're looking to go for it. 4 receivers. Pepe drops back. She's Brits. And the fumble. Terrific sack on the outside there. Cindy Whiteley just had a free run. And she makes a big hit. And the Coyotes will recover the fumble on the sack. And that is a good way to end this for the Coyotes. The Sun Devils obviously looking to add more points on to their already big lead. Showing that the Coyotes certainly have not lacked any effort in this one. They simply have been beaten by a better team today. Lining up 3 on the line for the Sun Devils. Morley under Seville. Drops back, quick pass to the outside. Marley takes, beats her corner. She's going down the field, tries to duck inside. That's definitely a first down. It's a good move there. The corner coming up to try to make the tackle right on the line. And good agility to get to the outside. Marley has been targeted a lot today by Morley. They haven't been able to connect that many times, that being a good one. It's now first down and 10. And they're going to keep it going here. Choosing not to opt for a timeout. Hurry up offense. Morley just barging her way down the middle. She almost gets through. Good tackle from Trisha Cameron. And it looks as if they might be calling a timeout. Either if they don't, they'll be looking straight to go into hurry up. And they will. Morley drops back. Pass, it's thrown into the line. She's going to dive on it just in case it would be ruled a fumble. And the defensive line for Queensland certainly showing that they're not giving up on this game just yet.
Out, New South Wales, this is their second time out.
New South Wales using their second timeout. Trying to regain their thoughts here. Queensland looking to hold out one final time to hold the clean sheet in this one. 42-0. And as this game winds down, thank you very much for joining us on what has been a jam-packed doubleheader here at Hurstville Oval in Sydney. The first game, New South Wales Wolfpack 52, SA Sharks 6. And then the second game here, the current score 42-0 here in favour of the Queensland Sun Devils women's team. Ascension Sports TV, in case you've missed any of it, head to their YouTube channel. They have the full replays of these games as well as highlights and interviews up within the next few days. Special thanks to the Hurstville City Council for putting on such a great show here today. The Oval came up tremendously. And also to Hostworks for helping us out here with the stream as always. Second down and long now. Morley. Quick pass, and that is going to be a grubber in the dirt. It's going to stop the clock at least, so there's a positive for the Coyotes. However, they only really have 2 plays now to get 13 yards to keep their drive alive here. Very late here in the fourth quarter. Queensland looking to bring the blitz. Morley again passes it outside. Malley gets around her corner again. And she is going to get brought down. That quick pass there on the flat is proving very effective here. She's twice gotten around her corner. Shani Rose had an interception earlier in the game.
Left in the game. Clock starts on
but
the
for the last 2 plays, she's been burnt. And now Morley to continue the drive going here. 4 on the line for Queensland. Morley barges it up the middle, but she is met solidly. And there are flags coming in from all angles. That's going to stop the clock as well. But it's no use stopping the clock if the yardage is going to go backwards for the Coyotes.
Personal foul, face mask, number 44 of the defence. Half distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
Face mask on the Queensland Sun Devils. That's going to be half distance, which means the Coyotes now are in their best position to score in this match. The home crowd at Hurstville cheering them on. Very tight formation in that pocket. Queensland looking to bring the blitz. Morley barging down the middle, and she is going nowhere. Timeout to the Coyotes.
Timeout, New South Wales. It's a final timeout.
And now they're going to have to be productive or extremely quick on this drive because now they are out of timeouts. Queensland desperately trying to hold on to the clean sheet in this one to match the clean sheet that they had when they beat the Monarchs in round 1. Following the Coyotes' last timeout. Crowd cheering them on. Queensland stacking the line. Morley drops back, throwing to the corner, taking it. And there will be a flag on the play. I'm not sure it will matter though. Yvette Leisha makes a terrific play against her corner. And the crowd at Hurstville going up to celebrate the first score for the Coyotes here in the dying seconds of the fourth.
Pass interference on the defence, number 24. That penalty is declined. Touchdown is good.
The pass
89,
interference
89.
is declined, which means the Coyotes are on the board. Morley doing well there to work with the limited pocket space she had to loop this one into the end zone. And a great play there from Yvette Leisha. And they're looking to bunch up very tight here. This could be a rugby scrum. And it is, and Queensland wins. Battle of Wills goes the way of the Sun Devils, and the two-point conversion will be incomplete, which means it's now 42-6 in favour of the Sun Devils with very little time remaining here. A great sign that the home crowd still in full voice. And when we come back, the Sun Devils will receive the kickoff potentially for the final time. Following the Coyotes' first touchdown of the AGL campaign for them, they will now kick off. Kick is along the ground. That's a tricky one to handle. Eventually picked up, and now she's got room to move. Big block on the outside. That's a pancake. And plenty of room to move there for Meta Luano. And now you can imagine that it would just be time to ice out the clock here. for the Queensland Sun Devils for their second win of the campaign and their right to host the Women's AGL final in 2 weeks' time. They have been terrific today on defence and on offence. Hard to find many flaws. As for the Coyotes, once again, gave 100% of their effort and were able to get on the scoreboard for the first time in their campaign just minutes ago. But obviously not enough for them to get the win. And there's the nil. And whether there's enough time on the clock for them to do one more, we'll have to wait and see. Umpire ends that discussion. That is it. Queensland Sun Devils 42, New South Wales Wolfpack 6 to close out the doubleheader here at Hurstville Oval here in Sydney. Thank you very much for joining us here on Ascension Sports TV. I'm Chris Guscott. From all of the people here behind the scenes at Ascension Sports, I'd like to thank you for watching. Hurstville City Council, like I said, a big thank you to them, as well as Hostworks for helping us out here with the live stream. It's been a fantastic day of Gridiron. We hope to see you next time when we cover the finals series, both finals. The men's AGL final between the New South Wales Wolfpack and the Queensland Sun Devils, and the women's final, which is just decided to be between the Queensland Sun Devils and the ACT Monarchs. Thank you very much for joining us today. Please tune in next time. Thank you very much.